So what we got going on today is recently you can see this this blue line here coming in, this square between it's technically between Mercury and Jupiter, but Mercury just conjunct with, and I'm scrolling back by the hour. I was just on current time, and boom, you can see if you're watching the conjunction there, you can see Mercury, boom, just passing right about, just last night there. So what we got going on now, right after that, is a square come in with Jupiter. And that's what we're seeing right now in the market. My opinion is we're seeing some bullish pressure, at least in the USD CAD. The US dollar definitely responds well to this setup here. And again, I'm under the settings. I've got my calculation setting, this Moshier, or Moshier, whatever his name is. And I've got the true space, these checked off here. That's all I'm really changing. And then, in settings, I'm switching to 360 degrees. The zodiac is nice though too. There's these planets are only going to get, especially with a Placidius sidereal kind of. There we go. So these are only going to get in this configuration so many times, right? Every once in a while. Right, that's what that song is all about. When the moon is in the 7th house, and peace and love will be on the earth, or some shit. But it's a good tune. But and it's actually happening in the future here. The age of Aquarius, the dawning of the age of Aquarius. Through this model, through these settings, I have this happening very soon. I'm not sure if it's from the heliocentric or geo, whatever, but that is happening soon. But these only happen every so often, right? Like, you're only going to get Mars in this 5th house, in Capricorn, Taurus. Yeah, it's like, that's not Capricorn, that's the Taurus symbol right here. And it takes a while to get used to these, right? I still don't know them all off by heart. I got to look at this right here, but. And with trading, you don't really need to know, like, this is Pisces, I do believe. You really don't need to know that, or maybe this is Pisces. But yeah, you gotta familiarize yourself with this stuff. Right, so you look, the 3rd house, what do we have? What's in Pisces? We've got the Sun, right, so this is Pisces here. The Sun, Mercury, and Neptune are all in Pisces. So this configuration is only going to happen every once in a while, where Pisces in the 3rd house, and there's a conjunction between. So it's very specific things that you want to watch for. Personally, I don't like having the sidereal on, because you can see it's just like a mind fuck when you're scrolling through time. So I turn the house system off, and that just locks everything on the outside. But it's good to be aware of that stuff, and it still tells you in here what's going on. You can always switch things up, right? So I'm getting my charter for now, and we're at 360 degrees. See, we're at 154, and in here, in ganzilla, I've got the hexagon at 15, which is a 720 hexagon, and I've got this crossed on, by all means, whatever you like. If you want to work with the levels, that's fine too. I've got it clockwise. Right, so the numbers are going clockwise, and the protractor here, you can see is going 10, 20, 30, 40. It's going, right, you can see this protractor here, it's going 30, 40, 50, and same with the clock. Right now I've got that switched, but typically I do have my calendar counterclockwise like this, in line with the protractor and the geometry that I'm rotating at the 154 degrees. You can see that here. And right now I've got the heliocentric model. Again, doesn't matter. Whoops, what am I doing? See, it doesn't really matter what I'm looking at in here because I've already got the only kind of relevant astrological information I need from astrolog. The rest is just kind of numerology, to be honest. With this system, but by all means you can have, heliocentric, geocentric doesn't really have the same type of setup going on. So, popping on heliocentric, you might see that these lines get interacted with, right? And so here's where the USD CAD, for example, was at 133.4, ended up dropping all the way back down to its previous square at 319 down here. And if you look at the USD CAD, we had things are loading so slow. We had a previous touch of that back here at 19, I think it was. Yeah, 319, right on the square. That was previous. That's when the square rallied us up here to 334, which was trine. This was slightly over. It was this line here at that time. The geometry was rotated back in time, right? Because everything's rotating counterclockwise, counterclockwise, the opposite way of a clock. So with this, it was actually this kind of this level, or this trine line right here, this pink line was actually a lot closer. It was in between 333 and 334 at the time, if you rotate it back. So it wasn't really lined up the way I liked it to. It looked a little off. I just had assumed that we were going to rally higher and these were going to hold, because there was, at the time, some planetary lines like this coming through, and I was hoping to see that hold for support. I was really being cocky because I did want to see it print on price, much like this. I want to see it print bang on. I don't want to see a little bit of a gap like that. Even though it still tells you price is trying, it's time to sell in this range right here, right? By the time you're hitting this 31, that's premature. 32, okay, check out, see what price is doing when you're getting in this range. Find your price action patterns and just make sure, if you're selling, you're getting in at the top of 32, right? You're not getting in, oh shit, it just hit 32. You get in on a candle that like pops at, say it was 32, you get in. That's fine. You get in up in here somewhere on a candles that pop. You're not chasing the market. You always definitely want to be positioning yourself. If you're buying, position yourself on a drop. To get that pullback. Right here's a little flight pattern. Get in on that. Here's another little kind of flight pattern in here. Get in on these pullbacks for sure. But not really what I wanted to talk about. But here's some more extreme targets for the USD CAD. Alright, so we blew through past the previous 319 square, and now we're trucking straight across. Right, so here was the previous 319. My next targets here are going to be, since the geometry is rotating counterclockwise, I'm going to go ahead and say 304 by the time price gets there. Even though I just made an idea for 305, I'm not sure why I did that, but 304 is probably your best bet for the USD CAD coming up here. And that really does drop us a bit lower here. Right, I have 305, it's going to be 304 down here. Right, but that should be at least where we go to. Like I said, if not some more dramatic targets over here, right, because that creates a bit of a triangle. If we're looking at this 289, if it wants to drop even more dramatically, but that's the kind of route that it takes. And you can see this crystal clear in any market. You just need to get the right setup with the 720 hexagon in Forex, because Forex is a 6-day market from Sunday to Friday. And that 7th day is rotating over. So, I mean, it works harmonically. You may very well find that the square or the circles or whatever circle of 12 numerically works quite well as well. It's half of it, and that's the whole thing with the zodiac. Apparently, that I learned from this guy on YouTube. He's out there, but he's saying half of he's right into the Egyptian knowledge of it, and he's an Egyptian gay prince apparently. But anyways. So yeah, you gotta look at some weird, some weird fucking shit out there with this. But there's some good info hidden in all the crap. Is that this bottom, the bottom half and the top half are just mirrors of each other. As above, so below, right? And it all creates geometry, spinning, and vortexual nature, which is exactly what the circle and the square is. If you pop on the vortex, you can really see that a bit better, in my opinion. So we're up at 154. You can really see the vortexual nature of the vortex spinning, and with me rotating the vortex and everything, you can see it just kind of rotates around it spins around the thing, so that's pretty cool. And you can see even more confluence here with the vortex there. But that is our next stop right there at 304. All right, so that's it. So you're taking your degrees from in here, and you're tuning in here. The easy, your safest bet, and a lot definitely to start out, just use the circle and the square, or you don't even need that. Honestly, the circle and square is beautiful, but an even stronger, kind of signal is to have just the degrees, as I showed in a previous video here, to have just the protractor, right? So I have just this protractor shown now, tilted at the degree, and if price were to come, that's what I kind of want. I wanted to see, and especially we were up, it was at like 337 at the time, when price when price ended up going trine at 334. When price went trine here, the protractor was kind of up here, so I was just expecting a pullback and to see it land in one of these maybe cardinal crosses or something to rally up into something stronger like this. But if you can get price right on the planetary axis, I mean, that's just beautiful. And then it's a guaranteed reversal at that point with basically whatever it is. But the square and the trine, very straightforward, right from Olga Morales. This isn't really something I'm making up. The math behind it, the Earth's degree, and the Moshear's formula is definitely mine. And using this to rotate it and everything, that's definitely my idea as well, rotating it to the Earth's degree. But she definitely applies the principle of buying on the square and selling on the trine. Negative energy is the trine, and positive energy is the square. Apparently, I'm not sure. Female energy is down or inwards, and blue is masculine energy or something. I don't know, but so like I said, I thought it was going to go rally a little higher, but it found trine here, and you definitely don't want to be buying at that point. But price was down here, right? It was down in these lower ranges here. I was hoping it was finding some structure, but no luck. So that's fine with the nice controlled small loser. But when you get price up here in the range, you have such good risk to reward, because boom, if I were to just be patient and really ride it out, more of a day trader's perspective, day trader, even swing trader, it might take for some of these targets to get hit. But if I were to just get in short here, I can manage risk up around wherever, right? Keep it fairly tight, but then you have targets over to here, targets down at least to your next square, right? So you have a big gap, a huge risk reward with this system. And what I like best about it is a very tight risk reward. So I can be in at 334, and I can have my stops at 335 or whatever, right? Wherever the setup might be unfolding. All right, so as of now with the USD CAD, that's where I'm looking, is that 1304 to 305 range. More dramatic targets would be something like that. But so I hope the principle's clear. It's really extremely simple stuff. It's just getting a feel for the whole zodiac, and getting a feel for the calendar and all that stuff, right? So, cool. Get in there. Let me know what's on your mind. All right, cool. Peace.